Hello, welcome back to the channel. I haven't posted in a long time. The breeding season is now over. I'm just going to show you all the chicks that I've gotten and just show you the birds really. So let's start with the greenfinch pair. So this greenfinch pair, the cockbird wasn't originally with this hen. He was with another hen, and from that pairing I got a total of 6 chicks. All 6 died, unfortunately. The hen just sat on those chicks for about a week. They grew, but then she just got out of the nest both times. There wasn't any mite or anything like that. I think she was just. I think it's just because she was a new hen. Um, she was a young hen, and maybe she was in a bit of, she was in good condition, so I think she was just really trying to go down again. That's why she kept on coming off the nest. However, I did put him with this hen because this hen went 2 rounds with another greenfinch cock, and they were just empty both times. So I put these two together, and I got a total of 2 chicks, 2 hen birds. One hen bird, unfortunately, I lost as she came out the nest. She just didn't look very good, and she died. However, I do have the hen right here. She is right here with this intensive cockbird that I got, that I bred myself. I put them together. I'm not sure. I don't think that I'm gonna leave them together. I put them together for mules, obviously. However, I just think that I'm gonna get a goldfinch cock for this hen and try to hybridize with her. She is a bit of a late bred chick, so even if I don't breed with her this year, hopefully the year after that I will have a couple of hybrids of them. At least that's the thought process anyway. That's why I'm going to go for a hybrid with her, since she is quite a late bred bird. I'm probably not going to get any chicks off of her, so why not go for a hybrid? This way they'll bond, they'll almost be together for a whole 2 years. I'll keep them together in the same cage for the amount of time. So that's what I think that I'm going to do. This is the cockbird that I bred from this pair. This is the cockbird that I bred from this pairing. Um, the the perch fell off. I think it broke. I'm going to have to fix it and put a new one. Excuse the mess as I haven't cleaned it this week. I'm just going to clean today actually. So this hen and this cockbird, the cockbird is the orange bird in here. I think they bred a total of 12 chicks, which are still alive. I've had a lot of chicks die this year. I'm not exactly sure why. Well, but I've had a lot of chicks die. These 2 chicks are still with their parents. They are now eating they are now eating on their own. I've just left them in here as for space reasons. These are the other chicks that I've bred from that pair. These 2 orange canaries, I think that they are in fact females, as a lot of the chicks have already started to sing, so obviously those are going to be cockbirds, and these 2 have just not really said anything. So I'm thinking that they are in fact females. These are the other chicks that I've bred. They're not as pleasant, obviously, to look at. However, they have very beautiful markings, and I still enjoy them personally. Now, in the cage beneath that, we have these 3 yellow mosaics. They're not of any show quality. They were mainly here just as feeders. Now the cockbird is right there, and the hen bird that I've bred from with him is this one. The other one was with a white cockbird. I did breed from them 2 chicks, which they fledged and then unfortunately just died. They were eating on their own. I don't know why they died. Um, that hen also I had put a goldfinch cock with her. He did threat her, and I did have two chicks. However, they didn't make it. They had black spot, so those two I know why they died. They had black spot. Um, Now let me show you their chicks. So these are their chicks. Um, there appears to be two buff birds and two yellow birds, which is quite interesting because I'm pretty sure that the parents are both buff birds. Um, so they're quite nice birds. They obviously look like a yellow mosaic. At least the buff birds really are starting to look like yellow mosaics. The two yellow birds, um, they don't look quite like a yellow mosaic. In the camera, they're not looking like yellows, but as I'm looking at them, they are definitely two yellow birds and two buff birds. The camera is just not doing a pretty good job at capturing that. This is the cock canary that I bred to the other hen. I put him in the small cage just for a short while, um, as today I'm going to be cleaning and changing a couple of the canary spots, um, so that they are in a bigger cages, obviously, because I'm going to put the majority of the canaries all together, and so that they can have more room to fly and obviously not stay in small breeding cages. Now, if you remember, I had these two. The cock is a silver and the hen is a silver pastel. The silver pastel is not looking very good, even the cock right now, because they're both molting pretty heavily. These two, I didn't have any eggs from them the whole year. She didn't even try to build, which is quite upsetting because I was really hoping to get some chicks off of these guys. I haven't decided if I'm going to give them another chance or not. My head is kind of up in the air. I might give them another chance as I'm going to have the space for it. However, I just don't know. So in here I have the pied. I don't know if I've ever showed this guy. I hand reared him myself. He's quite friendly, as you can see. I put him in this big flight cage so that he can get fit for the breeding season, as I'm going to try to breed him with this hen that I showed you earlier. I'm going to try to breed from them too. Hopefully to get some pieds. At least that's the idea anyway. Obviously my head isn't set as to what I'm going to do for next year. However, I have a couple of ideas which I'm going to tell you them right now. So the idea is that I'm going to have that pied cockbird to that hen, and hopefully to get some pieds off of them. And I think I'm going to remove all the cockbirds this year. Keep only 3 to 4 hens. 2 hens are going to be extras as feeders, and if the other 2 hens sadly pass away or something, I'll have them. And the 2 hens that are going to be breeding, the 2 hens, they're going to be mules. So I'm going to put a goldfinch cock or a linnet cock to both of them. Just, you know, depends on what I find. I'm thinking a goldfinch cock, as I've already had a goldfinch cock in the room, and I managed to bring him in good condition. Obviously, I had 2 chicks from him, and I think they're a bit easier maybe to mule with, instead of the linnet cock, as the linnet cocks are quite flighty, and these cages are the cages that I will be breeding them in. So if they were a bit bigger cages, I would definitely tend towards the linnet cock. However, it's just not going to happen, and I'm going to use the goldfinch cocks most likely anyway. So for next breeding season, I think that I'm going to do 2 goldfinch cockbirds to those 2 orange hens up top that I showed you, and that pair of pieds. The hen isn't a pied, however the male is a pied, so So all the chicks are supposed to be pied birds. Now, that pair of silvers, the silver to a silver pastel hen, it depends. I might keep them, I might sell them off just to have a little bit more room. Um, I'm just not sure yet. However, those three pairs are practically set in stone that I'm going to do them. I can change my mind, obviously, but I think that that's what I'm going to do this year. Um, Obviously, as I said before, I'm going to buy a goldfinch cock and put him to that greenfinch hen that I bred. Um, just because I really want to try a hybrid out, and again, most likely this year I won't be breeding any hybrids from them. However, hopefully the year after that I will get a couple of hybrids from them, at least one. That's the idea, right? If you get one hybrid, and he's a male and he's a yellow bird, there's not much that you can ask for other than that, right? All the other birds will be going. I will not be breeding any canaries this year. Um, the year after that, I might get a couple of canaries, like some good quality canaries, so that the year after that, I'm talking 3 years down the line now, I'll have a couple of good canaries to mule with. That's the idea anyway. So to sum up, really, I'm going to go for two muling pairs, two goldfinches, two canaries, a hybrid pair, and a greenfinch pair for next year. All the other birds will be going. I will obviously leave two, maybe even three spare hens. I might even run one of the goldfinch cocks on all of them, maybe, or try to at least. We will just have to see. So have a good molting season, and see you in the next breeding season.